Esther bat Simcha Baruch Hashem Tinechena Maganet Yitzkul Mitzvot. Please make brachot Yilu Ishmata. We are now continuing with the Halachot of Lashon Hara. These are common mistakes, but all of these mistakes Lashon Hara is still prohibited in. This is category number 5. Yesterday we spoke about a joke, or if you would say in front or behind the subject's back, it's still Assur. Category number 5 is even if it's being repeated. There's a misconception that people think that it was just said. So if I repeat it, it's not Lashon Hara because they already said it. They ripped off the band-aids. No more band-aid to rip off. Halakha explains, just as Lashon Hara is prohibited whether one person relates it or two or more, it is also forbidden for one to repeat a negative statement after it was relayed by someone else, even if he's not adding any new information to what the listeners already heard, and there's no additional harm being caused. The Chafetz Chaim learns this out from the story of Miriam. What happened with Miriam? Very quick. She spoke Lashon Hara in private about Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu wasn't belittled in the eyes of anyone. Miriam was private with Aaron. Nevertheless, it was still considered Lashon Hara and she was still punished, even though the subject was she didn't add anything more to what was already spoken. She still got punished, and we see from there, says the Chafetz Chaim, that it applies to us as well. Repeating something that was already said, even if it doesn't add any more, it's still considered Lashon Hara. So the Achronim bring many practical ramifications for this halakha. Number 1, even if someone was reported about negatively in the newspapers, it is still prohibited to discuss it with the intent of damaging and speaking negative about the subject. So this is a misconception that people have that, it's public. If you go try to speak further to denigrate him and speak down on him, it's still a problem. We'll talk about the toilet later on. We're not talking about that for now. If Reuven speaks about Shimon to Levi, and Levi exclaims to Reuven, "Wow, what a terrible thing Shimon did." He didn't do anything. He just responded to his friend, "Wow, he really did something so inappropriate." The Chafetz Chaim, the Achronim write that he is violating Lashon Hara with that statement by reaffirming and agreeing and just saying it over. Wow, he did something so bad. That's Lashon Hara. Why? Even though he is not telling Reuven any new information, by adding this negative comment, he's speaking Lashon Hara, and he's being mekabel. He's accepting Lashon Hara as well, which is prohibited. The next example, even if the original speaker repeats the Lashon Hara to the same listeners, he has transgressed Lashon Hara a second time. So on Monday they get together, he says something negative about someone. Tomorrow they get together, the same group, he says the same negative thing. It's Lashon Hara again. Nothing new, nothing changed. It doesn't matter. Every time you say it, it's another Assur. And we'll wrap up with this. If two people witness an individual committing an undesirable act, they may not speak about him to each other, even if their intent is to speak negatively about him. So we both saw something, we both know that we saw it. It's still an independent problem for me to talk to him about what we saw if our intent is to embarrass him and speak negatively about him. Again, we're not speaking about toilet. All of these will come up again later on when there's actually a reason why you might need to, but we're not talking about that for now. We'll wrap up with that for today. Chazak u'baruch.